I'll probably say that if my name is mentioned, there's the word perseverance right next to it. Somebody that
That's good.
kept going, somebody that didn't give up, and then somebody that every single chance that he had, he gave 100%, regardless of if he got the opportunity or not, regardless of where he was at. He's somebody that persevered and then went out there and trusted and did the work that he had to do.
This is the Legacy Show.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in once again to Legacy Makers Podcast, a space where we identify your purpose versus what you do. We identify who you are and how you're going to be able to leave a legacy. And also how other people have been doing it or how they're doing, how they're building your legacy. Today, we are so excited to have our next guest. He is a wide receiver who has faced the highs and lows of professional football. But beyond the field, he's stepping into something greater, a legacy rooted in impact, identity, and faith. Whether you're an athlete, a dreamer, or someone trying to live with purpose, this episode is for you. Will you please help me welcome Hergy Mayala? Hergy, how you doing, my brother? I hope I didn't butcher your name that bad.
You definitely got it right for the first time. You wanted a few.
We've been talking, Hergy, and as you know, we want to download some stories of men who are building a legacy and are in the process of creating their own legacy. And through the stories, people can identify themselves with those people and can say, look at what that person is doing to build their legacy. And that's what we're doing here because we are legacy makers. So why don't we jump right into it? Because I want to hear your story and how you started in those moments of building your own legacy. Tell us what life was like when you grew up. How did football become your passion and how did that transpire for you?
So I'm actually still playing right now, but where it all started for me, it all started back in my neighborhood in around 2010. I used to be a big basketball guy. I used to love basketball. Everything basketball was me. And then I remember one time I was actually leaving basketball practice, coming back home. And back then, all my friends, they played basketball and football. I was the only one that didn't play football. So as we were coming back, one of the football coaches from the neighborhood, his name till this day, Asmik, he kind of like all the guys, once they saw him, he kind of turned around because they was about to miss practice. They started going to practice, and then I kept walking. And then he kind of saw me, he looked at me, he said, you should give football a try. And then at that point, I was like, basketball is enough for me. And then after that, I think 2 weeks later, I went to try out. I had friends was there. We had a great time. But the thing is, my mom only allowed me to do one sports because of school. And I kind of had to sneak football for about 2-3 weeks until it was time for them to call my mom to get everything signed up, all the paperwork and everything. So that's kind of how my mom figured out that I was playing football. And then she made me do the choice. And I think I was age of 11 when I made the choice to play football. And now here I am, almost 20 years later.
So it's super awesome that you're playing right now football and making time for us, man. Thank you so much. I know you are super busy, but how's it going over there? How is football going? Can you tell us a little bit about football in Canada? How is it compared to the NFL? And what is the main difference that you see between the two leagues, the Canadian League and the American League?
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm going to my 7th year here in the Canadian Football League. I've been a professional for 7 years, mostly in the CFL. And also I had a little stint in the USFL. And the difference, I'll probably say the game is a little different. We have 12 people. They have 11. We have a wide goal. They don't. Everybody's on the line. We have guys moving all the time. But as far as the game of football, the competitive nature and everything that surrounds the game of football is pretty much the same. And yeah, other than just the board, it also make a big difference.
Oh my goodness, that's super awesome, man. And you know, as I was listening to you, I believe that you have faced some challenges along the way and some breakthroughs as well in the road where you are today. Can you tell us about some of those early challenges that you had to overcome? How did you were able to plow through those challenges and how those challenges did not prevent you from achieving your goals and your dreams that you are enjoying even right now?
My first one definitely is the one that I can remember that kind of changed the man that I am. I was 13 years old. I went to try out for the All-Star team from the region that I was in. And at that point, like I said, I was a big, just hanging out with my friends kind of guy. And then I was the only guy that got cut. And I remember till this day, Coach Terry, when I talked to him, he cut me. And then he told me it's not that you're not good enough. We just don't need you right now. We don't need somebody at your position right now. And now for me, kind of being home for those 3 weeks when everybody kind of went and traveled and had a good time,
Man,
was a big motivator. And then from that moment, it's just kind of the underdog that you got to work. You got to make sure that everything you do it 100% because if I ever got cut, if I ever got released, it's something that I personally wanted to make sure that I made sure that when I left or when I went back home, I give them 100%, and then God gonna take care of the rest.
Oh my goodness, that is incredible. I really want to know, Hergy, how did you believe within your heart once you heard the news that hey, you're cut, you're not gonna make it? How did you reconcile within your heart, and at what point you knew you were called for this and that you were gonna continue to pursue? How did you able as a young man to cope with this news and trying to continue to follow your dreams? How did that happen?
For me, whenever those things happen, in your heart, there's also a lot of voices, a lot of emotions that you go through. Because down the road in my professional career, I got in the same position, but dealing with it at such a young age, the young age was definitely the tougher one because you just, like I said, you go through emotion, you don't know what you don't know. And then now it's like, oh, you're not good enough. So I kind of took that lesson when I was there. I told myself, never again would I be in this position. So whenever I got in the same situation in 2023, where when you're a professional, it's a little different. You got the GM, you got the coach, you got all these people that are important that make all these decisions, kind of decide on your future. And then when they sat me down, I just had this faith in me that God wasn't done with me. And I knew it. I didn't feel any emotion that you usually feel, disappointment or anything. I kind of was like, hey, God, I gave everything that I had from the days that I was 13 till I'm now. I give you everything that I had. And if this thing happening, I know that you're going to use it for something good. And then, yeah, I just kind of had that faith from the start that once I figure out that 100% has to be done every day, because I think Jeremy was talking about it. There's a Bible verse that said, work and do everything as he was working for the Lord. So from that age, he kind of taught me those things at a young age. So when I kind of went on my journey and when I was faced with that challenge again, I'll probably like to say that I passed that test for sure.
Man, what an incredible testimony. What an unbelievable display of faith at 13 years old. Can you now tell us, because now I'm curious, how as a 13-year-old you display your faith? Tell us just a little bit about what happened. How did you come to know Christ as your Savior as a young man and make that decision? And how your faith helped you, even helping you today to shape, to understand, to cope with experiences, even the rejection that you felt, and how is your faith helping you even today as a pro football player?
Yeah, my faith it's crazy because God, like when I was 13, once again, everything kind of happened. It was like in the summer. It was more like end of May to like June, that little period where once again, I remember I went to church, catch the fire down in the West Island, and then the preacher actually spoke about revelations. And then it was saying that a lot of people will be saying God, 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 and then he said, get away from me. And then kind of when he talked about that, for whatever reason, it touched me. So then I went back home and then I read the whole book from start to end. And then as a 14-year-old, you started just having fear. You know what I mean? I didn't ask my mom for anything. I just kind of read it for myself. And then there's kind of like a fear in me that got installed. And then from that moment, I kind of gave my life to Christ. I was like, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to be the person that's left behind whenever you come back. So whenever I went through that journey, just every single year, every day, it kind of allowed me to live life differently, to kind of being able to, I'm a big believer that not everyone, the gospel has to be shared, but not everyone will open their Bible. And some people, their only Bible they may read ever is you and what you do every single day. Though we're not perfect, every single day we try and do something better. And that's kind of how it helped me with my walk. Just make sure that I was somebody that can impact, or somebody that was trustworthy, or somebody that when you come, we may hang out, have a good time, but then eventually I'm going to throw that little Bible verse in you just to make sure that I plant a seed. And then, yeah, as I went on, kind of just helped me, my faith growing. And when I got community with guys that also wanted to get to know Jesus Christ, to live after everything that he said, all the commandment and everything, that kind of made my walk even more enjoyable, because you don't feel as a somebody that's an outcast. Now you feel, okay, I'm part of a community. I'm not the only person that's out there that actually loves Jesus Christ, and every day trying to do better, even though, like I said, we're not perfect, but you're trying to do better. And I got a community that can support me, that can go to without feeling like I have to leave a certain side of me whenever I go to them.
Wow, man, that is so powerful because when you're talking about this experience, what many people are saying, you're too young, you're not qualified. Just the fact that you as a young man, you heard something and you made your own decision to pursue that which you heard. And whenever the Lord calls you, you're not too young to have a complete transformation in your life. And you can have a true experience that will shape your future completely. And the fact that you heard him calling you, the fact that you heard him call you by name is unbelievable. And the other part that you mentioned, Hergy, is that you found community. And that is so powerful. Many people don't realize the power there is when you find community. Iron sharpens iron. And in reality, when you find community of people that have the same goals, same desires, it really is incredible. But at what point do you realize that my purpose is beyond this moment? My purpose is bigger than the field. My purpose is bigger than playing football. Right now you're doing camps and you're impacting the next generation. You are making an impression on people's life. When do you realize that your purpose was actually bigger than football?
And it was, I'll probably say that I always felt, I think on my journey, personal journey, when it came to me, it was more the coaching side. I always felt like the knowledge and like the support and the care that most player need. I didn't necessarily get it 100%. Sometimes it was 70, sometimes it was 80, but never the full 100% where it goes from just football to life and then put it together and then make the best athlete, human being, citizen possible in a society. So I'll probably say that that's something always that kind of in a sense grind my gear to where I was like, man, like it has to be more than this. It has to be more into just doing this. And I'll probably say in 2023, that's kind of where my eyes opened up. I was like, man, like on my journey at that point, I felt like I worked my hardest. I did everything I could have did. And then some opportunities that I wanted wasn't getting them. And then instead of keep knocking on it, I kept working hard. But at this point, I was like, man, like I can't, there's too many variables here that I can't control. I can't control as a receiver. I play receiver, so I can't control who throws me the ball. I can't control what the OC is going to do by calling the play. I can't control who's up in the building that likes me or don't like me. So those are things that once I realized that, hey, I can't control those, that's kind of how I was like, okay, well, how can I still, this game that I love that gave me so much, how can I still give it back to it and also just grows and then allow a lot of people to get the same experience they love, even though it wasn't always good, to get that experience of like, okay, I get it to this point and then I see what it was like. So for me, 2023 was the year that I was like, okay, how do I want to go about it? I know I can still play at a very high level. So I was like, okay, well, I can't stop playing. Because I always also believe that if God gave you a talent, you got to go out there and shine it and then show them as much as you can until the phone stopped ringing, like we always say. So once I got to that, I was like, okay, well, I got to keep playing. So what can I play? What can I do on the side to make sure that this hunger that I have grows? And then that's when I started the first version of what I'm doing right now, RCA. And then thank God, this past off season in 2024, at the end of 2024, I was doing a lot of math, be like, man, how can I balance between training kids and then also myself training and then doing it in a city that's, you know what I mean, something that's profitable for everybody where the kids can all meet at one location. So there's a lot of question, of course, going on in my mind that I didn't have any answer to. And then weirdly enough, there's this guy in my neighborhood, John Gee, that started, he has a running back academy. He started his whole academy, but then after that, he reached out to me. He said, hey, I heard that you wanted to do a receiver academy. Like, I think that you'd be a good coach for it. And then I was like, well, okay, let me just hear what he has to say. And then this man, like I said, Jesus is real. He came down with like a breakdown of everything that I was looking for.
Wow.
Pulling out every single thing that I was like losing nights, like thinking about. And he just came down and then he hammered every single one of them. And then kind of when I seen it, I remember he was like, I'm gonna give you a couple of days to think about it. Brought it back to my family. We are praying family. My sisters, my brother, we all prayed about it. And then 2 days later, though I was a little bit scared because it's unknown territory, I was like, you know what? Let's do it, man. And then yeah, it's been great since the month of January. We've been making good stride, helping a lot of kids, helping with the confidence, helping them just understand the game as how to be a receiver, and also just make them understand that though the game, you can't love something that can't love you back. The game of football is a beautiful game, and it will give you and take you places that you can never think of. But at the end of the day, it's the things that matter the most: your faith, your family, and just making sure that whatever while you're doing it, you're getting the joy of what living a life of purpose, living a life, direction life feels like. Yeah, that's what I personally felt like my purpose was once God transitioned me from playing the game to making sure that I get to share and then change other people's lives.
Wow, man, that is so good. I really enjoyed that segment that you just talked about because there are so many people who are doing what they're doing, but they have not found their purpose. And if you're an accountant, or you're a factory worker, or if you're a lawyer, or you're an athlete, in reality, that is just what you do, but that's not who you are. And you understanding who you are, it doesn't matter what platform that you're in, you can actually achieve your purpose by performing, by doing what you're called to do. That is so amazing that you, Hershey, found that even you're an amazing football player. It really is beyond the field. It's in and out of the field. You are finding your purpose and developing these new athletes is absolutely remarkable. But not what I do is who I am, but it's just what I do. But how do you protect that? How do you continue to develop your identity and to ensure that people sees you for who you are and the gifts that you have and not for what you do? Because you're an incredible athlete, but how do you ensure that people are not just going to see you as an athlete, but they're going to see you as a son of God, as a man with passion, with desire to proclaim his kingdom? How do you do that?
I think for me, everything in my life has been a journey. That kind of realization, like I said, 2023 to me was when I really did realize that, okay, you're more than just a football player. In 19, I got drafted, came out. I had a really good year for a rookie. Set a couple records as a rookie. But then after that, I kind of identified myself with football, identified myself with, hey, I got to go out there. As long as I'm doing this, I'm going to be good. People going to like me, all the different things. And then after that, COVID, we didn't play. 2020, we didn't play. And then 2021, you still have that, okay, I am football. I need to go out there to do good, to feel good. And then I didn't have a good year. So that was a down for me where I, in a sense, almost, I wouldn't say lose myself, but I was like, man, like, why isn't it working? And then you put a lot of pressure on yourself. And then 2022, the same thing. I'm like, why isn't it working? If football wasn't working good, everything else on the side with my family, partner at the time, all the different things wasn't working. So that's kind of went to me. I had to sit down and be like, hey, what is it? What fulfillment that you're looking from football that is not allowing you to enjoy the real riches in life, which is family, health, and then just good time. So what is it holding you back from that? And then that's kind of where I came to the conclusion that most of the time is that you're putting football above everything else. You're putting football above God. Though it is your job, it's what pays the bills, all these different things, but you're putting it above God when God is the one that provided you with the opportunity. So that's kind of, to me, I had to go back. And then once I understood that, I kind of looked around, made a breakdown of life. I was like, man, like football gave me a lot, but it's not what got me where I came from. It's not what got me where I'm at. It's Jesus Christ that his sacrifice got me at. And once I understood that, which I hope it was sooner than later, once I understood that, it just changed the way that I view things, changed the way that I went about myself, changed the way that I talk to people, changed the way that I just approach things. Because I understand now that I can impact anything now. And that on the field, off the field, I can impact anything. And now I'm now in control of how I want to do it. You can do it for the Lord or you can do it for the kingdom of darkness. So once I made sure that, okay, Lord, I'm gonna make sure that every single person I meet now, I'm gonna try to do this right thing. Though, like I said, it's not always perfect, but I try my best. And now once I found that, it kind of detached me from football and then the RCA building something that's bigger than myself that now there's other people that are depending on you, people that you don't even know, kids that damn near like your little kids now. Once I kind of got in that role, I think it stretched me and then kind of took me away from myself. And then I started looking at the bigger picture more often.
Man, that is so good, man. That is what you just said really is very, very impactful because people many times they wrap their identity based on what they do. They wrap their entire mind, soul, and spirit based on what they do and not for who they are. And I believe that God is calling us men to be a sons of God. To whatever we do, that's just what we do, or those are the platforms or the venues or the roads that are going to lead us to fulfill our purpose. But our purpose is not found in what we do, it's found on who we are. So that was so good. But Hershey, what advice do you want to give to the next generation that are looking to find their own identity, that is not wrapping their performance? Even dads, sometimes their whole desire is for their sons to be these incredible athletes, and there may be some incredible athletes, but what advice you want to give them that is not what you do, is who you are? So what is that advice you want to give to athletes?
One thing I'll probably say is enjoy and work hard, but don't be attached to the results. Most of the time, whenever we lose ourselves, is because we go, if I work hard, if I pray a lot, God is going to answer this prayer. And sometimes that's not how it work at all. You can't, sports world, real life, there's too many variables moving around that you can't control. So if you just think that God is only listening to you, you're somebody answer prayer or you're somebody answer to a problem. That's kind of how the life works. We how connected that way where you can't just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna pray for a week. And then if God doesn't give it to me, oh my God, God, I don't love you, Dad. But it's like, no, you have to work every single day. Even if he doesn't give you, you still gotta worship and then love him the same way. And then the same thing with athlete. You can work hard and then the man next to you has only been hitting burgers all off season. He shows up overweight and then he used camp to get ready and then he has a great season. But it's like, you're not working for that. You have to work, be like, okay, I want to be the best that I can every single day. So once again, it comes down to you get this opportunity, you want to make the most out of it. Sometimes it comes as, yes, you have a great year where as a receiver, 1,000 yards is a great year for us. So you can work hard, get 1,000 yards, or you can work hard, get a full season where you're healthy. You can work hard and just go out there and then just being available for your team. You may not get what you want, but at the end of the day, you still have to work hard because if you don't work hard and then God give you the answer prayer, you won't be ready for it. but you have to be knowledgeable and smart enough and discerning enough to know, like, okay, well, I may work hard, but then God may use this for something else. And then once you understand that, I think that that's when you start seeing the bigger picture. That's when you start being approachable. That's when when you're open, you're allowing God now, okay, now I can do whatever I want because
Mm-hmm.
now you're open. You give me a chance to work. If you just, hey, I'm gonna work hard just for football, you're gonna work hard, and then after that, God give you blessing off the field that you won't even be able to take advantage of because you're so focused on just, okay, the field, the field, the field. When like God is like, okay, well, work hard, and then when you work hard, I may connect you with Roger, and then Roger is gonna you're gonna do something with him that's gonna blow up, that's gonna help him, and then after that, it's gonna help you too go in the direction that I have for you. So I'll probably say, yeah, work hard, but don't be attached to the results that you think at least.
That's good. That is so good, man. I was reminded one time my son was a soccer player, and since he was little, I always told him, I said, God, every single day, God expects you to go on from point A to point B. Once you make it to point B, He'll take you to C. But the many times is that we don't even want to make it to B. We're like, okay, I'm just gonna do the half work, and you never make it to be where God can actually use and take you. We want God to do all the work sometimes. And I think, like you said, work hard, do the very best you can every single day, and God will do the rest. And He will put you on the platform, the places that you need to be. But the main point is that you have to do your part, work hard. That's such a good word, such a good word. So what does legacy mean to you right now? When you think of legacy and when you think of, building a legacy, not what you're going to do one day, but what does it mean to you today as you're going through your own journey?
To me, legacy is pretty much your name being alive well long after you're gone. When you look at even like in our Christian faith, Easter, all these different things, that's a legacy that Jesus Christ left. He did something 2,000 years ago that till this day we're still doing, till this day we're still believing. So to me, when I think about a legacy, it's in the same way where you do something, you impact, you bring an impact that's going to live
Mm-hmm.
long after I'm done. And then the right kind of impact, of course.
That's so good, man. And what kind of legacy do you want to leave yourself off the field? Like, if you were to say, this is the type of, if you were to write one book or just leave behind one thing that people are going to remember you by, what would that be? What would that look like for you?
I'll probably say that if my name is mentioned, there's a word perseverance right next to it. Somebody that
That's good.
kept going, somebody that didn't give up, and then somebody that every single chance that he had, he gave 100%, regardless of if he got the opportunity or not, regardless of where he was at. He's somebody that persevered and then went out there and trusted and did the work that he had to do.
That's good. That's good. Perseverance, man. I think, what we hear it all the time. He who perseveres to the end, he shall be saved. Many times we're content and say, okay, I'm safe. But the Bible is very clear. We got to continue to persevere in our holiness, in our purity, and all the things that makes us continue to shape that which He saved, and now He's purifying us and make us whole, make us new each and every day. It's kind of like growing up. It's great. You're cute when you're a little kid, but the reality is that you continue to grow, and we continue to persevere into the very end. So that's awesome. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. So first of all, who is your favorite wide receiver between Jerry Rice and Randy Moss?
I have to say Jerry Rice because he's the greatest, but personally, if they was on the same team, they get drafted the same year, I'm probably taking Randy Moss. I grew up watching them. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with Randy Moss. Jerry Rice, if you ever see this, all
Yeah.
respect to you. You're the greatest of all time. But I go with Randy Moss.
What about Randy Moss or Terrell Owens? Randy Moss or Larry Fitzgerald?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss or Calvin Johnson?
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson on Mervyn Harrison?
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson or Steve Largent?
He's like, I can't even talk about him. So I'm gonna stay with Calvin Johnson. He's way past our time.
Calvin Johnson or Michael Irvin?
Calvin Johnson.
All right. And finally, what is your favorite post-game routine?
Oh man, I love playing because now I'm playing Toronto. I'm from Montreal. I love playing against Montreal because after the game, my whole family be there. They kind of just wait on me. So after the game, without even taking my shoulder pads, I kind of just go see them. We spend a good time together, probably an hour before everything leaves. We talk, we catch up. And then after that, they have these plates. It's like a Bustan out here. I don't know how they do it, but it's the best food that I have ever after a game. So I always go back, take about 2 plates of those, and then just get in the bus, put my headphones on. I like to relax after a game. I don't really like to do too much talking. I kind of just relax, and then just get my headphones, my music on until we land to.
That's fabulous. And what is one of the scripture that you live by? What is one of your favorite scriptures that almost signify your journey?
I'll probably, I mean, it's everybody probably says it, but I think that to me, I understand more the meaning behind it. When Jeremiah said, "For I know the plans that I have for you," declares the Lord. That to me is the one that I like the most because, like I said, it's my own journey. I understand that like faith, trials, tribulation, everything will happen. But at the end of the day, the same way that the Israelites were going through tough times. And then in the middle of a tough time, they're being told the Lord has good plans for them. And it's sometimes hard to believe when you're in a storm. But for me, it's just, I know that the plan that he has ultimately through the storm, because it's just a season. Once you get through that, the other side is so much better. So to me, I'll probably say Jeremiah 29:11.
That's so good. Hergy, man, thank you so much, man. This was so insightful. I think I 100% believe that you are building a legacy, and I believe that you are an amazing athlete, but I think beyond that, I think you are a son of God that is reaching to the next generation and creating a legacy by being authentic and be honest and be transparent, and the kids and the next generation can see and look at the guy. He's an amazing football player, but yeah, he can't smile with me and bring this joy that only God can give. So thank you so much for making time to share with us your passion, share with us your vision, and share with us what the Lord has been doing and is continues to do in your life.
Thank you guys for having me. This was a great experience. Definitely gonna stay tapped in and see how far we can take this.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you so much. And everybody, thank you so much once again for watching. We are so excited that God continued to use this podcast. And I would just invite you to share with somebody. Let them know about this podcast because somebody's life may be changed because you took the initiative to share this podcast. Give it a like and subscribe so you can be up to date with new content. Thank you again. You have a great day.